Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome to the first episode of the Wrestling Podcast with the boy, the Burns host. And guys, by the way, if you haven't seen it, go check out my recent video that I did, or the recent live stream. It was the TBT Sportscast. We talked about the latest news around the MLB, NFL, and NBA, plus so much more. So go ahead, check that out. And yeah, that will be in the link in the description once I get this done. But anyway, guys, here we go. This is going to be the Wrestling Podcast episode 1. So starting out here is going to be the NXT UK review. The NXT UK event was held Saturday, January 12th at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time and went to 4:30 p.m. And this show, it really showed how dominant NXT UK is, and just the whole NXT. They can put on such great matches, yet WWE just fails to do it. And there were great matches on this show. A lot of emotion was shown in these matches. And honestly, guys, I mean, these guys can really put on a show. While the main roster in WWE just continues to lack, just getting a good match out of people. They lack great storylines. They lack good matches. They try to appease the sponsors. Yet it seems like on NXT, which is WWE's own product, they just continue to outclass the main roster week after week. And this was an incredible example of this. So starting out here, the first match was the tag team match. It was Mustache Mountain taking on Gibson. It was Mustache Mountain, Tyler Bate, and Trent Seven taking on Gibson and James Drake for the tag team titles. And the winner's match was Gibson and James Drake. Now, this match was absolutely incredible. Great way to kick off the show. A lot of great spots in this match. One of the spots was when, I believe it was Trent Seven, he got Irish whipped by James Drake, I believe. And Tyler Bate was on the shoulders of Gibson. And then Seven went right into Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate got pulled from the apron. And then, I believe it was James Drake, jumped through the ropes and gave Tyler Bate a massive, massive clothesline off the apron. It was an incredible spot. And then Trent Seven tried to go for a suicide dive, but James Drake, I believe, caught him with the drop kick in midair. And then they hit their finisher. Then it was 1, 2, 3. And Gibson and Drake are your new NXT UK Tag Team Champions. Honestly, this match was really incredible. I liked the emotion that was shown. Also, the ability that these guys have is really insane. So, great match overall. Next match we have here on the show was supposed to be Devlin. I don't know. I actually forgot his first name. It was supposed to be Devlin versus somebody, but basically Devlin attacked his opponent through before the match even begun, and actually he attacked him before the show. Then Finn Balor came out as the replacement for the injured superstar, and Balor ended up winning this match via pinfall. I was really hoping they wouldn't squash James Drake, because WWE, when they do have replacements, I always worry that they will squash the opponents. The replacement will squash the opponent, but that did not happen in this matchup, and honestly, I'm very happy about it. Devlin had a lot of good opportunities to get pinfalls, but in the end, Balor hits the coup de grace. Then you get the 1, 2, 3, and Finn Balor is your winner in this match. Overall, I'd say it was a pretty good match. Once again, Balor, incredible wrestler, has incredible ability, and same thing with Devlin. So it was a really, really good match. I liked this, and it was good. Next match was Mazdiff taking on, the big guy, taking on Eddie Dennis, who actually got his undefeated streak broken by Mazdiff, I believe. Or Mazdiff cost Eddie Dennis his winning streak. And this match was pretty good. I mean, I thought it was going to go a lot longer. It was a no disqualification match. And there was a lot of good spots. I mean, these guys, they really just have incredible skills. One of the big spots in the match was Eddie Dennis showed off his incredible strength. He picked up Dave Mazdiff. I believe he's like 300 pounds. Deadlift him, picked him up, and then I believe he slammed him on a pair on steel steps. But that wasn't enough to put away Mazdiff. But then basically Eddie Dennis got put into the corner where a table was. Mazdiff did a massive cannonball, sent Eddie Dennis to the table. You get a 1, 2, 3. and Dave Masniff wins this match. Honestly, another great match. These guys have incredible ability. The cannonball spot was absolutely incredible. It was just this whole match was really, really good. You got to give credit where credit is due, and these guys absolutely deserved all the credit they're getting. So it was another good match, and I'd say it was pretty good. Next match was Rhea Ripley taking on Toni Storm for the NXT UK Women's Championship, and Toni Storm ended up winning this one. This is another great match. You could just see the emotion in Toni Storm. She was trying to get retribution, and I believe Rhea Ripley was, trying to expose Toni Storm's weaknesses, but Toni Storm does come out on top. She beats Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship, NXT UK Women's Championship. I really, really like this. This was a great match, a lot of emotions shown, and once again, the ability was on display for both of these women, and it was good. It was good. I liked this match, and yeah, it's pretty good. Then the final match we had was Pete Dunne taking on Joe Coffey for the NXT UK Championship. I did not watch this match, but from critics I've heard it was a really, really good match. And actually this guy Walter debuted after the match was over to crash Pete Dunne's celebration, and the guy looks really huge, and I think that guy is definitely going to be a great singles competitor in NXT UK, and I was really hoping, Walter took out Joe Coffey after Coffey tried to get on the apron, get in the ring. Walter, with a massive kick, sends Joe Coffey to the outside, and that's how the show ended, with Walter staring down Pete Dunne, and I'm very interested to see what this Walter guy can do in NXT UK. Overall, NXT UK TakeOver was just an incredible show. WWE NXT did a great job putting on this show. A lot of people went into this, a lot of work went into this, and honestly, I'd say it was a great way to kick off 2019 in terms of pay-per-views, and hopefully we'll get to see more from NXT UK, because, this start is incredible, so definitely a great, great match there. Now, another piece of news, a former X Division champion, Trevor Lee, did sign with WWE out of TNA, and Trevor Lee did announce on January 1st, 2019 that he was done with Impact Wrestling. Then 11 days later, he announced that he had signed with the WWE, and his accomplishments include he was with Pro Wrestling Guerrilla also in the Indies from 2014 to 2019, and he was in Impact from 2015 to 2019. Some of his accomplishments include being a Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Tag Team Champion with Andrew Everett. He was ranked 61st in the top 500 singles wrestlers in 2016. He is a 3-time Impact X Division Champion, a 1-time TNA World Tag Team Champion with Brian Myers. This is a decent signing for WWE, and I don't know, there was actually something that came out about the WWE offering a massive contract to the Young Bucks, or the Elite. I don't know what to call them anymore. But they did decline, and the details were actually released about that contract. But, overall, this is a good signing for WWE. Trevor Lee will definitely add some depth to the singles division, and we should see him on NXT very, very soon. We could actually see him debut at NXT TakeOver Phoenix, because, WWE, they like to kind of show off their new superstars at the pay-per-views. They did it with EC3, and they also did it with some other guys too. So definitely really, really good, and I'm interested to see what Trevor Lee can do in NXT. Just adds more depth to the singles division, and I like this signing for WWE. Hopefully he will work out in the WWE. And next we have an interview from Finn Balor, and by the way, all my news comes from Pro Wrestling Inc. And an article came out today, or a couple days ago, I don't know, about Finn Balor and his possible dream opponents. And Balor did mention in an interview with Inside the Ropes that he hopes to face either The Undertaker and or Brock Lesnar. And if he were to face Brock Lesnar, the Universal title would be on the line. And honestly, Finn Balor could really have a match with anybody at this point and still put up a great fight. The guy is incredible. His ability is insane. Balor is really, really good. After he won the Universal title, though, he has been on a steep decline, but he is still a good attraction. So hopefully in 2019, Balor can rebound, because in 2018, he did not have the best year. So hopefully in 2019, Balor can rebound. But honestly, Balor versus The Undertaker would be the ultimate passing of the torch moment. And then against Brock Lesnar, basically the same thing. You know, if Balor could beat Brock Lesnar, it would really solidify him. But I don't know if Brock Lesnar would want to wrestle with Finn Balor, but I think Balor can have great chemistry with anybody. So could be very, very interesting to see what happens there. But overall, I mean, Finn Balor, he's just an incredible wrestler. He has instant chemistry with anybody he wrestles. Honestly, the guy is an incredible wrestler. He will have a great couple of years in the WWE if they don't mess him up. And he was great in NXT. He was great when he got called up to the main roster, but ever since getting the shoulder injury and being out for 6 months, he really has not recovered from it. So hopefully Balor can recover, and in 2019 it could be his year. And then the next thing I have to talk about is AEW. AEW is a fast-rising wrestling promotion. It's actually owned by the Jacksonville Jaguars owner actually pitched in to make this wrestling company work. And the main stars of this wrestling promotion are Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Brandy Rhodes, etc., etc. And they actually had a press conference when WWE was holding SmackDown in Jacksonville. And I actually talked about it, Jacksonville, when Lars Sullivan, I was talking about Lars Sullivan and his anxiety attack. And honestly, that's just really scary for Lars. Hopefully he gets the help he needs. But anyway, honestly, AEW, if they said that they have a lot of TV deals lined up, and they have a lot of stuff being funded into this, a lot of money. And the reported sum that was invested into AEW was about $150 million. So definitely could be very, very interesting. $150 million is a lot of money. And if AEW can compete with WWE even just a little bit, it will be a success, because I think that a lot of people, considering how the WWE product is kind of on the decline right now, in my opinion, I think that if AEW can at least somewhat compete with WWE, then honestly, it would be pretty amazing, because AEW will have a lot of talent. I mean, I think Chris Jericho was announced. He did sign a contract with AEW. And also Neville was announced in the press conference. He will be with AEW. And there was a lot of other wrestlers there. Actually, there was 2 former GTS wrestlers wrestlers that were on GTS. Penelope Ford, and I don't know who the other person is. But they are now part of AEW, and more signings are set to come in the coming weeks. And honestly, I'm really excited for this new wrestling promotion. If they have a TV deal, I definitely will be willing to watch AEW each week. And I mean, they already did announce a date for their first pay-per-view or first event. I don't know when it was, but the second event is soon to come, the date for the second event. So overall, AEW, honestly, they are going to have a very, very bright future. I can't wait to see what AEW holds. And hopefully they can somewhat compete with WWE, because they have the talent to do so. They have a lot of great talent. So, could be very interesting. In AEW, honestly, it'd be fun to see competition just like it was with WCW and WWE in the late 90s. It'd be very, very interesting to see what these guys can do, AEW against WWE. Next, we actually have an update about Roman Reigns and his cancer and how he's going. So, Chris Jericho recently got interviewed with Chris Van Vliet. Jericho basically talked about how Reigns is doing with cancer, and he updated that he is undergoing treatment, and he's in high spirits right now, and everything seems to be going good for the big dog. And honestly, he thinks things are going well with the former Universal Champion. And Jericho basically said that Reigns is doing good, which is great to hear. Roman Reigns, get better soon. You know, I know how much I hate on you, but you know what, man? It's WWE's booking. It's not your fault. You know, you were Joe in Hawaii. It's not your fault. It's WWE's fault. WWE does not know how to book Roman Reigns. I actually went on a couple rants and a couple reviews with some of my friends. I went on a couple rants about how, like, WWE is, like, not building up talent and how they can't book talent correctly. And, you know, I mean, good for Roman Reigns, though. Hopefully he gets well soon, and hopefully Reigns can return to being the big dog as soon as possible, because honestly, it could be a breath of fresh air having Reigns back on Raw, possibly as a heel as well. If they could use this situation, I mean, I don't know, because they did it with Dean Ambrose where they used Reigns' situation to turn him heel and get him a lot of heat. I don't know if WWE would do the same thing in terms of turning Roman Reigns heel, because they did it with Seth Rollins when he had that knee injury, and he came back and he was like talking about all the well wishes, and then he said like, oh, I don't care and all that. I really, really don't think, though, that they would do that with Roman Reigns, because he has something very serious in leukemia. So I don't know if they would really want to use that as a situation to turn Reigns heel. But, you know, if they do turn Reigns heel, then honestly, it would be a breath of fresh air, because this Roman Reigns project has been going on since the Shield split up. And quite frankly, it hasn't worked out. So hopefully Reigns can get better soon. He can get back in the ring. And you never know. Maybe we can see Roman Reigns turn heel in the near future. And then also with this interview, Jericho touched up on how Kenny Omega could come to AEW, and Jericho hopes that Kenny Omega would come to AEW, but personally, I think it's more going to be, he's probably going to go to WWE, because WWE is going to prepare a large sum of money for him, like they did with Nakamura and like they did with Styles. They're going to lure that talent away from New Japan, and I could really, really see Kenny Omega in the WWE. He would be an instant star. He would not be like the guys that are signed now that just go right down to developmental. He'll go right up to the main roster, guaranteed. You know, I mean, yes, Nakamura went down to developmental before he came up, but AJ Styles didn't, and I think Kenny Omega, in my opinion, is bigger than AJ Styles was in New Japan. Kenny Omega was one of the main catalysts in New Japan becoming so popular this past year. So definitely look for Kenny Omega to, if he does sign with the WWE, look for him to be debuting in the WWE, not in NXT, because honestly he would fit in the WWE right away. And just the ability, the talent that he has, and the way he's helped New Japan become in almost the mainstream media of wrestling is just incredible. So hopefully Kenny Omega will come to WWE, and I would love to see him. If not, he'll come to AEW, and honestly, if he does come to AEW, that makes the product automatically a lot more stronger than WWE. Well, not than WWE, but it makes the product a lot stronger now, because with what Kenny Omega was going to did with New Japan Pro Wrestling, imagine if he could do that with AEW. Then AEW could compete with WWE, and honestly, that would be very, very interesting to see in my case. And then also Jericho touched up as well on this interview about, you know, he got asked if he talked to Vince before signing a contract with AEW, and Jericho basically stated that him and Vince are on good terms, and that Vince basically had nothing but good words for Jericho, motivating words, and it was almost like he expected Jericho to go to AEW, because, I mean, let's face it, Jericho is getting towards the end of his WWE career. I mean, let's think about it. He did debut in 1999, so almost 20 years he's been associated with the WWE. So, Jericho, I think his time is running out, and I think he's going to probably have a couple more appearances in WWE, and then he'll be with AEW for as long as he is, and then I think he might be officially done with wrestling. But you never know. Some people can wrestle till they're 50 or 60 years old. I mean, look at The Undertaker, look at Sting. I mean, I know Sting is a different case because he stopped wrestling in around 2001, I believe, when WCW folded, but still he was able to come back at, I don't even know what his age was, but he was able to come back and wrestle with Triple H and also Seth Rollins for the WWE title. So definitely look for Chris Jericho. He's going to be here for probably 1 or 2 more years, and then he might be done with wrestling, because if you think about it, 2 more years, he would be wrestling in the WWE for like 22 years. Like, that is insane. So, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what Jericho can do in AEW. And, I mean, good job on Vince as well for giving him nice, you know, supportive words, not being too, you know, mad at Jericho for jumping ship. But, you know, we're going to have to wait and see what AEW can do, because they're getting all these marquee signings. The biggest thing is, can they back up all these signings with great wrestling? If they can do that, just like they did in New Japan, they will be in a very good spot in 2019, and they can compete with the WWE. I'm not going to guarantee it, but almost pretty much guaranteed. And now we're going to move on to my next topic, which was the future of NXT UK. And honestly, the way that NXT UK, NXT UK TakeOver was so well booked. The matches were incredible. Honestly, the future is very bright for NXT UK. And they have a lot of great talent. Pete Dunne is an incredible talent. He actually could be on the main roster coming very, very soon because he did compete against that guy on Raw as part of the Cruiserweight division. So if Pete Dunne could come to Raw, then, I mean, he could be an instant star because, honestly, he does fit the moniker. I mean, he is a bruiserweight, and, I mean, I just can't wait, honestly. If he can come up to the main roster, he will definitely make a splash. There's no doubt about it. And I think Triple H does like Pete Dunne, so definitely very good. You also got people like Rhea Ripley. She's kind of hardcore, which I like. You know, kind of like Karma. They're less glamour and like using tactics to win. They more are like they're like hardcore women and they're badasses and they know what to do. So definitely is going to be very, very interesting to see what Rhea Ripley does. You also got, Toni Storm. I mean, she performed incredibly in the women's title match, so she is really good. And then, there's even more guys like this new guy, Walter, debuting. Hopefully he'll be a star in NXT UK, and he does have to build that Triple H and WWE likes. I mean, he's tall and he's strong. Then you got like Annie Dennis. Annie Dennis is strong as well. He could be a star. And then you got Dave Mazdiff, who is basically like the Killian Dane of NXT UK. So it could be very, very interesting to see. Now, honestly, compared to WWE, NXT is going to continue to thrive, whether it be in North America or in the United Kingdom. They're going to continue to thrive. They're going to continue to thrive when WWE is struggling because people are going to be looking forward to the takeovers rather than the actual pay-per-view. I mean, we've seen it with NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. I mean, honestly, the highlight of the weekend was Johnny Gargano versus Andrade Cien Almas. I mean, that match was incredible. That's a 5-star match. That basically almost overshadowed everything that happened at the Rumble. And sometimes the takeovers, well, actually most of the time now, the takeovers are better than the actual pay-per-view that, we all look forward to in WWE. Basically, the marquee thing is getting outshined by the incredibleness and the greatness of NXT because they know how to book talent. Triple H, if Triple H can keep doing this with NXT, once he takes over WWE, it could be incredible because Triple H does know what he's doing. He just knows what he's doing. Triple H knows what he's doing. He knows good wrestling when he sees it. Now, yes, he does have some slip-ups, There are some times where he makes poor judgment. Sin Cara. But, there is some times where he can make poor judgment. But also, he has catapulted NXT to being one of the top, if not the top product in WWE, in my opinion, because they can put on great wrestling every week. They only have a 1-hour show per week, yet they can build up feuds. They can get the right matches in there. I mean, they build up feuds beautifully. Like, they know what to do. They know how to build feuds. They know how to create characters. And, I mean, we saw that Shinsuke Nakamura on the main roster has been nothing, yet in NXT, Nakamura was the hottest act in NXT. Same thing with Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode, they build up the glorious character great in NXT. They did exactly what they need to do with Bobby Roode. Yet when he got to the main roster, he kind of hit a roadblock. And hopefully with this new change in terms of the McMahon's running things, maybe he can get a push, kind of like the Revival are getting a push as well. So, could be interesting. But honestly, I mean, NXT just knows what they're doing. They know how to create characters. They know how to do all this stuff. And they know how to polish superstars. Yet when these superstars get to the main roster, like, yes, you have exceptions. Like Big E is, he's kind of touted. He's kind of going to get a singles run when he leaves the New Day eventually. It's going to happen eventually. When he leaves the New Day, he's going to get a singles run. Basically guaranteed. He will get a singles run in the WWE. Then moving on, you got like Seth Rollins, who's been incredible. Roman Reigns has been a world champion. Dean Ambrose is a Grand Slam champion. And I think actually Roman Reigns has been a Grand Slam champion, if I'm correct, because he has held the U.S. title. He has held the tag titles. I don't know if he's held the Intercontinental title. He might have. But Rollins is a Grand Slam champion. Honestly, you know, there is some exceptions to the rule, but there also are guys like Bailey, for example. She has hit a major roadblock on the main roster. She's not, people don't buy into her as much as they do, as much as they did in NXT. Sanity is a great example. Sanity might start to get a push, but honestly, they didn't really do much in 2018. They kind of were just held back. And then the ALP is another great example. They were great in NXT, one of the hottest tag teams in NXT, and once they got up to the main roster, like, yes, they won the Raw tag team titles, but really, like, how good was that run? Like, how good was the run for the ALP? So, looking at it, I mean, there are some people who can make it out of NXT to WWE, and there are just some people who can't, you know? It's just, and it's unfortunate, too, because the people who make it out of NXT usually are polished and they're really good, but there are some guys like Apollo Crews, for example, who are called up too early. But maybe with the McMahons in management, they could really, and obviously Triple H, not just the McMahons, but if they can somehow make guys like Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, you know, guys like Sanity, guys like that believable again, then we could be in a very, very good spot. Trust me, we could be in a good spot, man. You never really know. We could be in a great spot with the McMahons and Triple H taking over, because Triple H knows wrestling. Triple H could have a huge influence backstage on the McMahons because he knows wrestling. I mean, honestly, his track record is really good. I mean, if you take a look at NXT and what it's been, Triple H knows wrestling. So, could be interesting. I mean, we don't really know yet on what the McMahons are going to do. Hopefully they will push young talent. Hopefully they will push the NXT guys and make them believable again, because we really, really need that. But finishing off the topic, I mean, NXT UK is looking incredibly bright for WWE right now. Definitely, if they can keep going with the momentum they have had, then they could be in a very, very good spot, and NXT UK could be one of the hottest brands in WWE television. Moving on now, we have a preview of NXT TakeOver Phoenix and also the Royal Rumble, and I'm going to be going over my predictions as well. Excuse me, predictions as well for, you know, the upcoming matches, because I think the Royal Rumble is in a week. Is it? Hold up. No, it's in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, never mind. 2 weeks, whoops. Okay, so right now I actually have a bit of a preview for NXT TakeOver Phoenix and also the Royal Rumble, and, you know, some of these confirmed matches, so let's head into it. So, the first match that we have, we're going to start off with NXT TakeOver Phoenix. The first match we have that's already confirmed is Tommaso Ciampa taking on Aleister Black for the NXT Championship. Honestly, in this match, I think it's going to be Tommaso Ciampa coming out, because I strongly believe that they will call Aleister Black up, possibly in the Royal Rumble. You know, I mean, last year's Royal Rumble, we did see Adam Cole. He was in the Rumble. We saw Andrade Cien Almas. So there were guys called up from NXT to be in the Royal Rumble. And looking at it, Aleister Black would be a perfect fit. He would go in the Royal Rumble perfectly. I would actually have him debut on the main roster in the Royal Rumble. That would make the most sense, in my opinion. That would make the absolute most sense if Aleister Black debuted at the Royal Rumble. And then, possibly, a couple months down the road, I'd say after NXT TakeOver at WrestleMania time, we could see Tommaso Ciampa get called up to the main roster then. And it's really, really looking like that. Next, we have Shayna Baszler taking on Bianca Belair for the Women's Championship. Honestly, in this match, I really want to take Shayna Baszler, but I have a strong feeling that they're going to call her up in the women's match. I have another strong feeling. She's been the champion multiple times, and honestly, I think her time has passed, and I think it's Bianca Belair's time. So I'm going to go with Bianca Belair. I think they're going to call up Shayna Baszler for the Royal Rumble, for the Women's Rumble. I think they're going to call her up. That's what they're going to do, hopefully. And hopefully we'll see Shayna Baszler be in the Rumble, but I'm going to take Bianca Belair. She is going to win the NXT Women's Championship. Next match is the Undisputed Era taking on the War Raiders for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Honestly, I'm going to go with the Undisputed Era to retain. The reason why I'm going with it is I think the War Raiders, they need a bit more time in NXT. Also, I don't think the Undisputed Era is ready to be called up yet. Honestly, if they, because didn't they debut only at like last year's SummerSlam? So I'd say about WrestleMania time, they lose the titles, the tag team titles, because I don't see them losing it now. because I don't see them getting in the Rumble. I don't see them getting a call-up into the main roster, all 4 of them. So, in my opinion, I would keep the titles on Undisputed Era for now. Then when NXT TakeOver WrestleMania comes around, then we could see the Undisputed Era drop the titles and then get called up to NXT. But I just think that it's not their time yet. Keep the titles on Undisputed Era. I'm going with Undisputed Era. And then I think this is basically confirmed. It's going to be Johnny Gargano taking on Ricochet for the NXT North American Championship. And in this match, I'm going to go with Ricochet. The reason why I say this is because I think that Gargano needs just a bit more time in NXT. And honestly, you can't take the title off Ricochet now because Ricochet, I think he's not ready to be called up yet. I don't think he's definitely not ready to be called up yet. Or they can pull it where Gargano enters the Rumble after losing the match against Ricochet. I can honestly see that happening, but I'm taking Ricochet no matter what, and Gargano could get called up. I actually am going back on my words a bit. Gargano could be called up to the main roster. He could debut in the Royal Rumble. Honestly, I would pick him to debut because Adam Cole did debut last year, so... oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Did I just make an incredibly bad blunder? I think I did. Yep, I think I did. Because I think Adam Cole did debut in 2017, not 2018. Wow, that is really bad. That is really, really bad. Oh my goodness. Well, that completely changes the game. Honestly, I'm going to go with the War Raiders now. I think they're ready. I think they're really ready. The Undisputed Era, I think they'll debut in the Rumble match. I'm going to go with the Undisputed Era. They are going to, I'm going to go with the War Raiders. They're going to win the titles, and I think the Undisputed Era is going to get called up. I made a hilarious blunder, guys. I apologize. They did get called up. They did come in NXT in 2017, not 2018. So I'm going to say Undisputed Era is going to lose this match to the War Raiders. They are going to win the titles. The War Raiders are going to take it off. And then for the last match, I'm going Ricochet no matter what. They could call up Johnny Gargano. I don't know. You know, it's kind of up in the air right now, but I'm still taking Ricochet no matter what. Now for the Royal Rumble, let's move it on. We got Lesnar versus Strowman for the Universal Championship is the first match we have. And in this match, I'm going to take Braun Strowman. I've been wrong before about Strowman, but I think I'm not going to be wrong this time. The reason why is WWE cannot screw up this for Braun Strowman again. He has lost to Brock Lesnar multiple times, and if this is going to be a meaningful win for Strowman, definitely have it at the Rumble. This will be the meaningful win for him, and I think that him at WrestleMania would be perfect, especially for last year's blunder where Strowman basically had a 9-year-old win the tag titles with him. So, I mean, if I'm perfectly honest, I would say that in this match, I really want Strowman to win. I think he's going to win, but if Brock Lesnar wins, we riot. That's just how it goes. And I'm taking Braun Strowman in this match. He will beat Brock Lesnar to become the new Universal Champion. Moving on, we got Daniel Bryan taking on AJ Styles for the WWE title. I'm going to be taking Daniel Bryan here. You cannot take the title off Bryan. He's been incredible with the rants, and also just the heel gimmick has been incredible for him. And honestly, I would actually possibly take the title off him at WrestleMania to whoever wins the Rumble. I would do that. And, yeah, I think, well, actually, I don't know, because, hold on. We did have the WWE Championship. And, actually, I don't know how they're going to book it. Don't know how they're going to do the Royal Rumble this year. Honestly, for the WWE title, I don't know. Possibly a Raw guy can win the Royal Rumble this year, and he could be challenging for the Universal title, and then the SmackDown guy would be determined. Honestly, though, I would say Daniel Bryan is going to drop the title at WrestleMania. He is going to keep it, though, at the Royal Rumble. AJ Styles, I think his reign is over at the top. I think he should get downgraded to the lower mid-card at this point. Well, not the lower mid-card. The mid-card or upper mid-card, he should be going for, like, the Intercontinental title or the U.S. title. Whatever may have you. Personally, I would have him. Well, actually, no, the Intercontinental title's on Raw, so we can't do that. Woohoo! They could do a trade though, where Styles gets sent over to Raw, and then somebody gets sent over to SmackDown. They could do that. Honestly, though, if he was gonna go after a title, he should go after the United States title. But in this match, I'm taking Daniel Bryan because they simply cannot take the title off him right now. It would be stupid to do so. Then again, though, I said that about Seth Rollins, and look what happened. Next match is going to be Ronda Rousey taking on Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship, and I'm going to go with Sasha Banks. I think that Sasha would be the perfect person to beat Rousey at this point. I think she's still undefeated. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think she's still undefeated in WWE, and looking at it from a perspective like I am, I would personally, if Banks could get this win, if WWE could book it right, if Banks could get this win, this would be a massive, massive win for Sasha Banks. And honestly, I would book it. I would have Sasha Banks win the I would have Sasha Banks win the Raw Women's Championship at this point, because this would be to make up for all of the times where she was screwed in the WWE. So, in this match, I'm taking Sasha Banks. She will win the Raw Women's Championship, and Ronda Rousey will lose it, and that will end her undefeated streak, basically passing the torch to Sasha, in my opinion. Next match is going to be Becky Lynch taking on Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and I'm going to go with Asuka in this match. I think it's pretty obvious, because why would they take the title off Becky, or why would they take the title off Asuka after she just won it at TLC? However, though, they could do something where Becky wins the title, and then, I don't know what would happen. Honestly, though, that would be a great way to kill Asuka if she lost the title, and I don't think she's going to, though. They just gave her the title at TLC. I don't see her losing it. Honestly, I'm taking Asuka here, but Becky Lynch will definitely be in the spotlight, no doubt. Possibly she'll get a WrestleMania match against Asuka. So, there we go. I'm going with it. Next match is going to be The Bar taking on Miz and Shane McMahon for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, and I'm going to go with The Bar here. And I simply do not think that The Miz and Shane McMahon, I don't think they're winning the titles, or they could do something where Miz and Shane win the titles, then Miz turns on Shane, which it's inevitable to happen. I want it to be, it's inevitable. You know, it's going to happen. Miz is going to turn on Shane McMahon, and they are going to have a match at WrestleMania, and it's going to be all about the WWE World Cup trophy, because Shane won it over The Miz, and The Miz should have won it. So, if I'm going to be honest here, I would go ahead. I'm going to take Shane McMahon in this. I'm going to take The Bar in this match, because I just don't see Miz and Shane McMahon winning the titles. If they're going to have a long tag team run, possibly winning the titles, then Miz turns on Shane. But I think at the Royal Rumble, it'd be the great time for Miz to turn on Shane McMahon. And maybe they could attack, possibly, Miz could attack Shane McMahon before the match, and then Miz could enter the Royal Rumble and possibly win it. So, could be interesting. Honestly, though, I'm going to take The Bar in this match. They're going to win, and Miz is definitely going to turn on Shane. There's no doubt about it. Next is going to be the final match. Well, mostly the final match that is confirmed. It's going to be Buddy Murphy taking on Kalisto and Kira Tozawa and Hideo Itami for the WWE Cruiserweight title. I'm taking Buddy Murphy to win this one, because Buddy Murphy's been on a tear. I don't see him really losing the title to any of these guys. So honestly, I'm going to go with Buddy Murphy. He is going to retain his title. Then we have, which is a match that's going to be confirmed. It's going to be Ambrose defending. I'm thinking it's going to be against Rollins. If not, they'll have something on Raw this week or next week to determine who is going to be facing Ambrose at the Rumble. But Ambrose is going to be defending the Intercontinental title. I'm taking Ambrose in this one. They cannot take the title off of Ambrose in any case scenario because of his heel run. They cannot take the title off him. Dean Ambrose, he's going to be the Intercontinental Champion after the Royal Rumble. I'm going with that. Anyway, guys, that is it for the podcast. I hope you guys have enjoyed the first edition of the wrestling podcast. Now, I'm trying to kill some time because I really wanted to hit 40 minutes. Yesterday, you guys showed a lot of support on the TBT Sportscast video where we went over the news from the MLB, NBA, and NFL. We'll be doing that podcast tomorrow. I'll be trying to do podcasts every other day, so we'll do basically what I'm planning on doing is as simple as this. The TBT Sportscast is going to be on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then you will, wait, hold up. I might be wrong here. Hold on. All right, so it's going to be pretty uneven. So we'll go with, 1 week we'll have more Sportscast. Other week we'll have more of the wrestling podcast. So usually though, if we're going to have more of the TBT Sportscast, it will be Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. That will be the TBT Sportscast. And then if we were going to do more of the wrestling podcast, it would be Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So that's going to be it, guys. Hope you have enjoyed. If you did, smash a like. Let's try to smash 5 likes. Thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow to see the TBT Sportscast Episode 2. We'll be going over the latest in sports. We'll be going over the NFL playoff weekend and also the latest news involving the MLB, NBA, etc. And then tune in on Tuesday. We'll be doing the wrestling podcast once again. Then also on Thursday, we'll be doing the wrestling podcast. And then on Saturday, we will be hosting the final. Actually, no. I will not be able to do Saturday. I don't think I'll be able to do Saturday. I might be able to. I don't know. We'll see about it. Anyway, though, hope you guys enjoyed. And see you guys